podcast, Cinderella Chats. I'm your host, Cinderella Field. Yes, that's really my name, along with your co-host, Sandy Hunter. We are so excited to be here to share some insight about life, love, and relationships. So let's get to it. Hey, Sandy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm
Great.
good. I'm really excited.
Me too.
Excited and nervous because now it's,
It's
for real.
It's coming.
Yeah, it is. So what are we going to give our friends out there that are listening and wondering what Cinderella Chats is really all about? I mean, what is real life, real love, real relationships? How do we as women get it right in today's crazy, mixed up world we live in? I don't have all the answers, but I do have a lot of experience, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I mean, a lot. So do we go, I have a lot of experience in what it means to be a real woman.
Yes, as most women out there, all the trials and things that we go through every day. But I think it would be good for our listeners to kind of know, what exactly are we going to be jumping into?
Well, I know what it's like to be single. I know what it's like to be single a long time ago.
Right. Me too.
Did you hear that? A long time ago.
Yeah. I get it. Well, I tell you what, how about we just talk about the dating scene?
I can tell you what that was like 30 something years ago, but it's quite different today, is it not?
Oh my gosh. I watch my single friends like you, and I have a few, unfortunately, single friends that are my age, and man, they're really struggling with the dating sites and the crazies, and some of the stories I could tell you are just nuts.
Well, and I have friends that have done it. And during the divorce, I certainly didn't do it because I was still married, right. Legally married, and I believe in covenants and all that sort of thing. So then I had a friend, and I think you don't know her personally, but you do know who I'm talking about. She convinced me to get on one, and it was just like, oh my gosh. It just made me want to throw up because there were men that would send me messages, and I was just like, okay, wait a minute. They look like they should be on remember those wanted posters that they had in post offices?
Yes.
Okay. These people look like they had just gotten out of prison.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody was looking for them, and it wasn't their mother.
Oh my goodness.
So I was just like, oh my gosh, did you look at me and look at yourself and go, do we belong together? Because I would say, we don't, right? So
right.
I would always usually get off of them within 24 hours, and this person would prod me to get back on, so I'd get back on. And I met a couple of people, but I never met them in person because, oh my gosh, the things that they would ask me.
Well, and I think I'm married, and I've been married almost 31 years, but I do have a lot of, like I said, friends who have come to me and said, okay, I tried this site and I met up with this person, and we decided to go to dinner, and he showed up walking, and I asked,
well, maybe he's just into fitness.
Where's your car? She said, my friend did. And they came in and they sat down and started eating. And she said it was just really awkward because he started talking about going back to her apartment, and could he hitch a ride with her? And he didn't get his paycheck till next week. So could she pay for dinner? And yes, it was just scary. And she said, I got in my truck. I just drove away with him standing in the parking lot.
I would have too.
So
bye-bye. Good luck.
I was like, oh my goodness. And she said on the dating site, it said he had a job, he had his own house and all this. And all of a sudden he's jobless, carless, and he's living with a friend. That in itself is scary. And especially with any woman out there, I would never suggest to go meet somebody at somebody's house. Always make sure it's in a public place. But I asked several of my friends, like I said, that were single, and they just said right now dating just sucks. It's not a good thing right now. My curiosity is, okay, so where do you go to meet these people? If you don't
Are you asking me personally?
Yes. If you don't do the online, then where exactly do you meet these people? I mean, are we talking in the vegetable aisle at Reese's? Or what are we talking here?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, because I won't do the dating sites, because it just gets awkward because they start talking about, the 3-letter word from like the very beginning, you know, the one that starts with an S and ends with X.
Right.
And you guys can figure it out. Just pick the appropriate vowel.
Or they want to, or I had one friend say that she got a bunch of explicit pictures.
Correct.
From
some have sent me pictures like that, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Facebook is another place, that
you meet people on Facebook, or just people liking your stuff, or what are you talking? Do people actually reach out to you, or?
Well, actually, there's this one person that just will not leave me alone. And you know what? He's married. And I tell him, do not contact me anymore. I've blocked him before. Then he sends me a message that says, please don't block me. And I tell him that, I believe in God. You need to go figure out the things that you need to do with your wife. Then there's another one that it's just, I won't even mention, he's just, piece of work. Mm-hmm. And he's in a committed relationship, but is he committed? Heck no, he's not. Because guess what? They can just swipe right. I mean,
that's crazy.
That's what happened in my marriage of, almost 30 years.
Right.
I mean,
well, statistically, nearly half of, I was doing a little bit of research when we were talking.
I've done tons.
Yes, nearly half of U.S. adults today say that dating has gotten harder for most people in the last 10 years.
Well, yeah, I think that men and women are very confused. How about that?
Yes.
Because you want to know, you know me pretty well, right? Mm-hmm. Would you say I'm kind of picky?
Kind of. You have definitely standards.
I have standards. Yes, that's what I would call it. I have standards.
Uh-huh.
And
at this point in time, a job, just being heterosexual, you get these points down, and that's half the battle, because right now you don't know if you're dating a he or she or what's happening.
Yeah, what do you have on underneath those pants?
Yes, exactly.
Or that skirt.
And when you go to the bathroom, do your feet face in or out? That's what I want to know.
Oh my gosh. Right?
I need to know that.
Are there any things that you have in mind for the future that I might need to know about?
Is your prison rap sheet real long? Let me know. Now, don't get me wrong, because
there's some good men. There are some good
men out there. And I think in the dating world, I think some of those statistics said that only 15% of those men that are really looking for a committed relationship.
I think that men do want that. I do. But I think that,
to me, though, 15% sounded really low. Only 15% of the single guys.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't hear you say.
Yeah. That they're looking for a committed relationship.
Well, come on. I just told you why. Come on. You know what mine did.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm a little gun shy because
right.
we were actively involved in church and God and all of that stuff. Now, am I attracted to some men?
Absolutely.
You know and you know who they are.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do.
But I want a man to pursue me. I'm just a bit old school and
I started to go there. That is old school. You and I carry obviously old school morals. Well, in today's time, there's just really not moral.
Well, I have morals.
I seen somewhere where a hookup, who I don't even remember who was talking about it, but Tinder, I've never been on this site. I have no idea what this site's about.
Dr. Jordan Peterson does.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you know what? I would love to have him on with us to talk to one day.
oh, that'd be great.
Because he knows all about that stuff. And I mean, this is, us even talking about it or me saying something like that. I mean, there are people that are going to get upset with me because I don't do the dating sites. I just don't know how well they work. And I mean, if a guy's on there, looking on a dating site, I don't know. I just don't, what's to keep him from looking on a dating site if we're in a committed relationship or married? Because,
Right.
you know what happened with me. That's just the truth.
Right.
So it's just like, and my children have even brought this up to me. They're just like, why aren't you dating? Because I want certain things. Like I want, a spiritual connection with that person.
Sure.
I have to be attracted to that person.
Sure.
I want the chemistry. I want them to be smart, really smart,
Sure.
attractive, successful at this point of, my age.
Right. Right.
To like to travel, to care about their health. They work out, they take care of themselves. They care about other people. You know what I mean?
Sure. But like most women who are currently single and looking to date like yourself, 65% say they've experienced at least one sexual misconduct, sexual harassment from someone they've met on one of these sites.
Well, I can tell you this. The ones that I've encountered that I never met in person, I can tell you that they sent me pictures of body parts that I didn't want to see, asked me very personal questions that are none of their business.
Right.
And, just said inappropriate things. Now, there were a couple of them that were nice, but they became obsessive. And we had not even met in person.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, and another thing, they want full body pictures because they want to make sure that you're not, thin up here and then really whatever down there. I'm just like, really? I'm not giving you a full body picture of me. Are you kidding me?
No, it's kind of crazy.
I think it's weird.
Well, and
I want that. I want to walk in and meet a person or see them maybe, on Facebook and go, oh,
yeah,
that person's attractive.
Exactly.
I like the way they post. I like the things they're involved in. That sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But women are more likely to see risk, both physical and emotional, is what the survey said that I read when it comes to dating sites and dating in today's time. I have experienced a lot of a me generation right now. It's all about me. It's all about my wants, my needs, my interest, and how are you going to accommodate my needs?
That doesn't work in committed relationships, and that doesn't work in marriage either.
No,
because committed relationships in marriage,
right,
is a very sacrificial relationship. It's not a 50-50 thing at all. It's 100% on each side. I want to fall madly in love with someone that will be my friend, my whatever, that is totally committed, because I am one of those people. I am just a totally committed person.
Right.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's...
Well, I think in today's time, we live in such a fast-paced, furious lives. Everything is just, you look up and, a month's gone, a half a year's gone. And singles who are looking for a relationship nowadays are open to just dating anyone, any type of background, any ethnic, any of that, simply to hopefully meet that connection, because there's just really not a whole lot of places to meet unless you go to a bar. It used to be church, and now the church has just kind of dwindled, remember the old singles groups in churches and stuff like that? I don't even hear about those things anymore. So I'm thinking everybody's just resorted to this fast click of a button. Well,
click of a button and swipe right. And guess what? If you say something I don't like or you whatever, I mean, it just is at the drop of a hat.
Right.
For whatever reason, that's what that means. Just out of nowhere, they're just on to the next thing. I mean, before you met people that, you either went to school with or you got to know through working with them, or you lived in close vicinity of them, and maybe you lived in the same apartment complex and you ended up in the laundromat together, and that's how you met, or through friends or things like that. Now you just get online and you can meet someone in Dubai. I could meet someone in Dubai and fall in love.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, do you think I'm going to move to Dubai? No. I mean,
depends on
it
how
just
much money you have. I'm just teasing.
Well, but you know what I mean? I mean,
let's just face it. I mean, a lot of it just comes, I know we don't like to say the word, but it just centers around sex so much right now when it comes to dating in today's time. It says it's probably safe to say that I would say the norm right now is about, before, no one would ever dream about having sexual relationships on the first date.
Well, I'm not going to have sex with someone on the first date either.
But now it's not taboo. Now it's just like a normal thing.
Okay, well, no. I mean, you're giving yourself to someone when you do that.
It just seems like the rules have loosened up over the years.
And besides, you know what? I think kissing is a big deal, and holding somebody's hand. I mean, I would want to hold, I want to get to know someone.
Well, the terms of the terms of endearment. I mean, what it's almost like slam, bam, thank you, man. Oh, hi, my name is so and so, and you are, and what do you do? Oh, great. Well, do you want to come back to my apartment? I mean, I would just be flabbergasted.
Well, there's this old saying that if you can milk a cow, you probably are not going to buy the cow.
Well, then, hey, I get it.
So you know what? That's why they're on to the next, on to the next,
but that's what scares me, is because you've got these young girls in their 20s and 30s, even 40s doing these single status. And what happens is they don't get to experience what they would call in the old days of the courting ways of a gentleman. You know what I mean?
That's what I want. I want to be courted.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so amazing. I just think
but it's sad in the sense that it's almost like a couple of generations are missing out on being made to feel special, being made to feel good about themselves, feeling important to someone. Instead of
having butterflies in their stomach, they're missing out on that.
Yes, and they can't wait for the next step.
And talking to them on the phone for hours, and then they show up at the door, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
They have flowers. I mean, I don't think I ever had anyone bring me candy, but flowers, or just whisking you away at the last moment's notice. Hey, let's go grab dinner here, and with no expectations that
they just want to be with you.
Yeah.
They just want to be around you and get to know you.
And they want to hold your hand and just,
and look into your eyes across the table.
Not grab your hand. Let's run to the truck and run back to my apartment, to my bed. I don't. And that's what scares me for my granddaughter, for her friends. I see all these young girls and they're so hung up trying to make these young boys feel wanted. You know what I mean? They're so, I told my granddaughter not too long ago, she was experiencing something. I said, let me tell you, boys are boys. You have so long before you even have to decide whether or not you want to ever get married. You need to make sure you're with the right person, not the one that just comes along, especially not one that pressures you into doing things.
Yes, and I tell young people that I talk with to this point, because I do talk to a lot of young people. If you could have lived, if you were me and you had experienced what I experienced when I was younger, I said you would be begging for it
Yeah.
You would go, oh my gosh. And I said, because I just look at it and go, where has it gone? And then here's another thing. Okay, so you're talking about younger girls, but I mean, how many people now are getting a divorce that are over 50?
Yes.
I mean, it's epidemic.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's epidemic. So no one, and you're so confused about it because, I mean, I know pastors that say, oh, you just want to be happy for the rest of your life. No, that's not what about real relationships are about. That's not what it was intended to be. That's not what a covenant is. And not just that, but I mean, okay, if that happens, are you going to just rush right in to try to find someone else because you can't stand to be alone? Or are you going to be still and let healing happen? I mean, how long have I been, I went through the divorce. I certainly didn't date during the divorce. I mean, how crazy would that have been? Oh, come on, let's do this with me. Wouldn't that be fun? Ride this emotional roller coaster. And some of the things that have happened when I was going through it. And then I got through it. I mean, I went to therapy. I took my time. I think that
you've grown a lot.
Oh, thank you. So, I mean, that's what has to happen in order to be able to get into another relationship and be healthy with that relationship.
Just makes you wonder why society is changing the way it has. I mean,
that would require us to go into politics, which we can't do with dating.
No, no, absolutely not. But I personally think that this is a topic that we definitely need to discuss some more.
Oh, a lot. Yes.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's just one part of what Cinderella Chats is about.
Yes.
It's about the unexpected.
Right.
How
to problem solve. Who's been out there and experienced these things? And we want to hear from our listeners too. We want to know.
And you don't have to agree with us,
no,
because you're not going, I mean, that's the beauty of people. We're not all going to agree.
Right. And I trust you. Me and Cinderella here, we don't agree always on everything, but it's okay to disagree when you have the respect and the love for one another. And that's what we want to do. And commitment. Absolutely. We want to just be here for those and help people as they come.
Exactly. So that's just a part of Cinderella Chats. It's real life, real love, real relationships. We'll see you next Tuesday.
If you enjoyed the show today, share it with your friends so they can listen in to our conversations about life, love, and relationships. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Cinderella Chats, the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. We look forward to our Tuesdays together and know you will too.